welcome back to the YouTube channel for OQLIS, the Data Insights people. Today we're exploring 3 features that transform a data grid from a static display into a dynamic interactive experience using cell customization, editable fields, and drop-down lists. Each one puts more control in the user's hands, whether that's how the data looks, how it gets changed, or what options are available when editing. So let's get started. I will be using a sample dataset as seen on the screen relating to a hotel booking system. This specific data grid is used to track guests' experiences, capturing rating and feedback after they've already checked out. This is the end product that we will be working towards, with gradient coloring based on the rating. The lowest scores are the darkest and the better scores are lighter. Additionally, we have 2 editable fields, the rating and the feedback, with rating including a drop-down list. I also included a currency symbol for the total price. The first feature we will cover today is cell customization. This is the exact same Explore, just with all the cell customizations and the editable fields removed from the settings. Cell customization could help you present data in a way that is instantly meaningful. There are almost an unlimited amount of cell customizations that you could do, but today we are focusing on the gradient colors and adding a prefix like the currency symbol. To create the gradient colors, you open the settings of the Explore and scroll all the way down to cell customizations. Your first bit of code looks like this, and it makes sure that the code only runs for the actual data rows and not the heading rows as well. Afterwards, you insert a lookup table that matches each rating number to the hex color code. Rating 1 is the most intense red. Let me just put in the code here so you can see. So this is your lookup table. Rating 1 is the most intense red. And as the numbers increase, the red gets progressively lighter, fading all the way to white at 9. This is what actually creates the gradient effect. The next bit of code, which looks like this, it reads the rating value from the current row's data and stores it in a variable so that we can reference it easier. Afterwards, we are going to check that the row's rating actually exists in the key in our color object. Let me just get the code. So if colors rating checks that the row's rating actually exists in the lookup table, and then options.cell_element.css sets the background color to the color matching the rating in lookup table. Then we just need to close all of the brackets and you'll see that the code works. So 4 is darker than 6 and 1 is darker than 4, 5 is lighter than 4. It's based off of the rating number. Now the rating 1 is a very dark red color and the black text is almost a little bit difficult to read. So I'm just going to add code which changes the font color to white when the rating is less than 3. So if rating is less than 3, options.cell.elements.css color, that is white, and then else this is black. So the next thing that I want to show you is how to insert prefixes or suffixes to the values in the cells. I'm going to add a rand sign to the values in the total price column. It is important to note that this bracket at the bottom closes the if statement all the way at the top. Here, let me just make this a bit bigger. Oh my goodness. Let's just do this. So this is one if statement that closes at the bottom here. So the new code will be its own if statement. So if the row type is data and the column data field which is the name of the column, is total price. So now you can see the rand, well, then just options.cell_element.text, and then R as a prefix. If you want a suffix, you can just add the value to the end of the options.value. And then you can see in the data grid that the rand sign is included before the values of the total price column. I just want to help you understand what the options.row type and options.column type data field is and where it comes from. So you can type in console.log.options, and then anywhere on your screen click inspect, which will open up the dev tools, which should look like this. Then you move all the way over to console, you clear the console, and if you just go anywhere onto your code again and press enter or space or anything that kind of makes it reload, you will see that you are console logging. So this is now a list of all of the rows in this data grid. So if I scroll all the way to the top, you will see that the row type is header. So if we go to, let's say this one, which is the column index 5, open it up, go into the column because our code says options.column. So go into column, and then in column we will find the data field, and we set it equal to total price in our if statement. So in the column you will see there is a data field, and for this index it is checked out date, which is index 5. So check out date, you can see it there on the screen. And then the same for the row type data. So let me just close up this row, scroll all the way down. So these are this is the filter rows that are here. And we can open up one of the data rows. So you can see here row type equals data, which is what we include in our if statement. Open the row, you can see the values, and so here's the values. This is all the values included in that specific row for the different columns. And I don't think we do anything else specifically. So you can just play around here and have a look what else you can customize and try to understand the code. Important to remove your console.log options when you're done using it, otherwise you will keep on console logging. There you have all the cell customizations that were done in the sample data set that I showed you. Next, we will move on to editable fields, which will help you modify data directly in the data grid without having to navigate away to a separate form or screen. I will show you how to set up the editable field and ensuring that the edited value is saved to the table in the database. It's an editable field. You open up your settings again, and then right below, let me just make this smaller again. Right below your cell customization setting, you have an enable data grid editing setting. So you set that equal to yes. Then you have 3 options, either allowing adding, updating, or deleting. In my instance, I only want to allow for updating, so I tick that to yes. And then in my editable fields section, I list the fields or columns that I want to be able to edit. So in my case, it is rating and feedback. Now, if I go to feedback, I can change this value, I can edit it, and the same with rating. It's not a drop-down list yet, but I can edit it. Now, to make sure that the updated or edited value actually saves to the database, you have to create a component. So in component, you will go to add new, create a new name. So let's say demo writeback. The component type is a data grid writeback. It is the only option at the moment. So just make sure it is ticked and then you save. Inside your component, you have a workspace which should automatically be filled in. Mine is in the examples, as you can see here. Then link and explore. So my explore that I've been showing you and working on is checked out bookings for the demo video. And the destination table is the table name in your database. So it will be the table that you create your data model from. That would be hotel bookings in my case. Then editable fields will give you a list of the fields in that table, and you just select the ones that you have made editable in your Explorer as well. So I'll go all the way down to rating and then feedback as well. Those are the only two at the moment that I can edit, and it should preferably be the same as the editable fields in your Explore. Then I want to map these fields to the columns. So what this does is, let me just select one here. So I'm going to do one and then I'll explain. So rating. So on the left hand side, I have rating. This is the field name in my Explore. And then on the right hand side, I want to map that field name, the specific column, to the column in my table in my database. So mine has the same name, but it could be the case that this could have been guest rating in the Explore and only rating in my table in the database. So this is just to make sure that when updating fields, OQLIS knows exactly where to put the editable field, where to map it to in the data, to basically to link the two columns with each other. Then you say update component. Oh wait, I need to add the other ones. So rating, and then I also have feedback. So you can see on the right hand side I have less options. So these are only the fields that are included in my Explore, whereas on the right hand side I have multiple options because there are a lot more columns in my table in the database than what I actually included in the Explore. So I'm just going to select feedback here, and I want to add a unique identifier as well. So I'm going to add booking ID and then update the component, and it should be all set. When you change the values in your data grid, let's say I want to remove expectations, I can remove it, and you will see the block will be the block will have a green border, which means the value is updated but not saved or synced to the database. So to save the value, you have to click on the save icon at the top here. Now the green border goes away and the value is officially saved into the database. Moving on to the drop-down list, I just want to save my Explore to make sure we don't lose any progress. Yes, and then, okay, changing the rating editable field to a drop-down list. So you can see just below editable fields, there's drop-down edit JSON. So you include code that looks like this, where you specify the column name or the field name that you have made editable at the top here, and then you list the values that you want to include in the drop-down list. Drop-down lists is a nice addition to an editable field that will help you maintain data consistency by guiding users to select from a predefined set of valid options instead of typing freely and increasing the risk of human error. So now with the code in here, I can change the 6 and I have a drop-down list. I can change it to 4, make sure I save it, and the color should change as well. And there we go. Now we have a data grid with cell customizations, editable fields, and drop-down lists. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to get all the latest updates regarding our software.